Hey everyone, so welcome to Zion National Park. This video will give you an overview of my experience navigating through the Narrows and Angel's Landing specifically. Also, I'll be giving some tips along the video if you plan on going and haven't been to Zion yourself. So my friends and I decided to go to Zion National Park on Labor Day weekend, which is probably not the best choice if you want to beat the crowd. It was okay with us because we didn't mind, and our friends Jamina and BC visited last year, so they knew how to avoid the crowd when it was necessary. First, we stayed at La Quinta Inn and Suites in La Birkin, and it was the last hotel before you get on Highway 9 to get to the actual park. It's definitely the cheapest route to go, especially if you go on a holiday weekend, and if you decide to go spontaneously, which we did. It's roughly a 30-minute drive before you hit the visitor center, and it may seem like a stretch, especially since you'll be hiking for most of the day, but it's definitely a beautiful drive to and from the park. And you might as well enjoy the natural landscape and scenery while you're there. We left our hotel at 6:30 and we already had trouble finding parking at the visitor center. Luckily, you can find more parking along the road, but you'll have to pay for the meter, but it's good for the whole day. On our first day, we decided to hike the Narrows. I would suggest to go as early as possible to beat the afternoon heat, although you'll be in a gorge between 1,000-foot tall walls and will be walking cold water. And if you think you'll beat the traffic, well, everyone has the same idea, but everyone has their own pace of walking and most people will stop to take photos, so it won't be as crowded as you think it will be. For this trip, I would also recommend bringing your own hiking stick and water shoes, or renting one from the park, which is around $30 for the whole day. I don't know how many times I would have fell not knowing if I was going to slip on a rock, but more on that later. From the bus stop, you'll walk for a few minutes and will end up walking down these stairs, which means you made it to the Narrows. I would also recommend coming during the summer or fall season because the water levels won't be too dangerous. And when it's winter and spring, the Narrows is usually closed because of flood warnings, but you could always check the website for updates. But yes, as you can see, you go straight into walking in the water, and at some points, depending on where you are at, the water can reach up to your waist, and you won't know because you can't see far enough down to see the rocks.
You do the stair thing?
There's really no end destination for the Narrows, so you could go for quite some time and decide to head back whenever you want. But while you're at it, enjoy the hike. You'll be walking in and out of the water, walking through crevices, seeing water run down on the rocks, the walls expanding and contracting, allowing the sunlight to come down and glisten while it hits the water. And don't forget to just stand or sit and absorb everything that is happening around you. The next day, we were to conquer Angel's Landing. For this destination, I would highly recommend going early as possible. Some hikers even slept in their cars at the parking lot to be the first ones in line. Note, the first shuttle leaves at 6 a.m. and people were already standing in line at 5. Again, go early because you'll end up having to stand in another line to get a stamp for you to go all the way up to Angel's Landing. You'll be able to go up the mountain, but there's a certain point where National Park Rangers will be checking if you got the stamp. The beginning will be an easy walk for a few minutes until you start ramping up and ascend at the foot of the rock formation. You'll see how much further you'll have to walk up because you'll see people ahead of you up above. But as always, don't forget to take a break, look back, and see what you have accomplished because it's definitely a beaut. The final leg of the first portion of the hike is this zigzag pathway. This one was a difficult one, but you could definitely do it. To keep you motivated, after this section there are bathrooms and a nice viewpoint to take pictures or just to rest. This point is also where the park rangers check if you have the stamp to continue on with the route. Once you are cleared, the difficulty level ramps up. The pathway gets a little bit more dangerous, narrow, and you'll have to hold on to the chains to help you along the way. As you can see, there's the waiting game. Remember that while you're going towards the end, there are also people heading back down and you have to share the same pathway. Be polite and help each other out. I would say it took us another 30 minutes or so to finally get to the end, but it was definitely worth all that effort. We definitely took our time when we were at Angel's Landing. We sat, snacked, enjoyed the view, and definitely just hung out. You can even sit at the edge and let your legs hang out while you absorb that sun and breathe that nice clean air. That pretty much sums up the trip. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.